desks. Don't warn them when they reach in and... Oh, hi, not planning anything, promise. No, talking to... Come here, Duchess. My Duchess, Kona. Yep, we're planning stuff for Halloween, right? Come on, you gotta bail me out here. Oh well. Anyways, you're actually here for chapters 15 and 16. Now, we're doing 2 chapters because they're very short chapters. So, let's go ahead and get started. Make sure to pay close attention so that you can answer the questions and do the activities at the end. Let's get started with chapter 15, bath time. This was no ordinary bath time. Chloe realized this had to be run like a military operation. Hot water, check. Towels, check. Bubble bath, check. Rubber duck or similar animal-based bath toy, check. Soap? Was there enough soap in the house? Or in the town? Or indeed the whole of Europe to make Mr. Stink clean? He hadn't had a bath since, well, he claimed last year, but it might as well have been since dinosaurs ruled the earth. Chloe turned on the taps, running them both together so the temperature would be just right. If it was too hot or too cold, it might scare Mr. Stink off of baths forever. She poured in some bubble bath and gave it a swirl. Then she laid out some neatly folded towels, pleasingly warm from the airing cupboard, on the little stool by the bath. In the cabinet, she found a multi-pack of soaps. It was all going perfectly according to plan until... He's escaped, said Dad, poking his head around the bathroom door. What do you mean, escaped? Said Chloe. He's not in the shed. He's not in the house. Couldn't see him in the garden. I don't know where he is. Start the car, said Chloe. They sped off out of their street. This was exciting when Dad was driving faster than usual, although still 1 mile an hour less than the speed limit, and Chloe sat in the front seat, which she hardly ever did. All they needed were some donuts and coffee to go, and they could be 2 mismatched cops in a Hollywood action movie. Chloe had a hunch that Mr. Stink was anywhere he would be back on that bench where she had first talked to him. Stop the car, she said as they passed the bench. But it's a double yellow line, pleaded Dad. I said stop the car. Dad stamped on the brake. The tires screeched and the car stopped. They were both propelled forward and a little in their seats. They smiled at each other at the excitement of it all. It was as if they had just ridden a roller coaster. Chloe sprang out of the car and slammed the door shut, something she would never do if her mother were around. But the bench was empty. Mr. Stink wasn't there. Chloe sniffed the air. There was a faint whiff of him, but she couldn't really tell if this was a recent one or a lingering odor from a week or 2 or so ago. Dad drove around the town for another hour. Chloe checked all the places she thought her tramp friend might be, under bridges, in the park, in the coffee shop, even behind bins. But it seemed as though he really had disappeared. Chloe felt like crying. Maybe he had left the town. He was a wanderer after all. We'd better head for home, darling, said Dad softly. Yep, said Chloe, trying to be brave. I'll put the kettle on, said Dad as they walked indoors. In Britain, a cup of tea is the answer to every problem. Fallen off your bike? Nice cup of tea. Your house has been destroyed by a meteorite? Nice cup of tea and a biscuit. Your entire family has been eaten by a Tyrannosaurus Rex that has traveled through a space-time portal? Nice cup of tea and a piece of cake. Possibly a savory option would be a welcome here too, for example, a Scotch egg or a sausage roll. Chloe picked up the kettle and went to the sink to fill it. She looked out of the window. Just then, Mr. Stink's head popped up from the pond. He gave her a little wave. Chloe screamed. When they got over to their shot, Chloe and Dad walked slowly towards the pond. Mr. Stink was humming a song. Row, row, row your boat, to himself. As he sang, he rubbed algae into himself like with a water lily. A number of goldfish floated upside down on the water's surface. Good afternoon, Miss Chloe. Good afternoon, Mr. Crumb, said Mr. Stink brightly. I won't be too long. I don't want to get too wrinkled in here. What? What are you doing? Asked Dad. The Duchess and I are having a bath, of course, as young Chloe suggested. At that moment, the Duchess appeared out of the murky depths, covered in weeds. As if it wasn't enough that he was having a bath in the pond, Mr. Stink had to share it with his dog, too. After a few moments, the Duchess clambered out of the pond, leaving behind a large black scum layer floating on the water. She shook herself dry, and Chloe stared at her in suspense. It turned out that she wasn't a black dog after all, but a little white one. "Mr. Crumb, sir," said Mr. Stink. "Would you mind awfully passing me a towel? Thank you so much. Ah, it's clean as a whistle now." Chapter 16. Rule Britannia. Mother sniffled and sniffled again. Her nose wrinkled with disgust. "Are you sure you had a bath, Mr. Stink?" she inquired, as Dad drove all the family and Mr. Stink to the television studio. "Yes, I did, madam." "Well, there's a funny smell of pond in this car and dog," pronounced Mother from the front seat. "I think I'm going to puke," pronounced Annabelle from the back seat. "I've told you before, darling. We don't say puke in this family," corrected Mother. "We say we are feeling very slightly nauseous." Chloe opened the window discreetly, so as not to hurt Mr. Stink's feelings. "Do you mind if we keep the window closed?" asked Mr. Stink. "I'm a little chilly." The window went up again. "Thank you so much," said Mr. Stink. "Such unimaginable kindness." They stopped at some traffic lights, and Dad reached for one of his hard rock CDs. Mother slapped his hand, and he put it back on the steering wheel. She then put in her favorite CD on the car stereo, and the old couple in the next car looked at the Crumb family strangely as "Rule Britannia, Britannia rules the waves" came blaring out of their car. No, no. That won't do at all," said the TV producer as he studied Mr. Stink. "Can we put some dirt on him? He doesn't look trampy enough. Makeup? Where's makeup?" A lady with far too much makeup on appeared from around the corridor, scoffing a croissant and holding a powder puff. "Darling, have you got any grime?" asked the producer. "Come this way, mister," said the makeup lady. "Stink," said Mr. Stink proudly. "Mr. Stink, and I'm going to star on the television tonight." Mother scowled. Chloe, Annabelle, and Dad were led to a little room with a television, half a bottle of warm white wine, and some stale crisps to watch the show being broadcast live. The thunderous title music started. There was polite applause from the audience, and the pompous-looking presenter, Sir David Squirt, addressed the camera. "Tonight on Question Time, it's an election special. We have representatives from all major political parties and also a tramp who goes by the name of Mr. Stink. Welcome to the program, everyone." Everyone around the table nodded, apart from Mr. Stink, who proclaimed loudly, "May I say what a delight it is for me to be on your show tonight?" "Thank you," said the presenter uncertainly. "Being homeless, I have never seen it," said Mr. Stink. "In fact, I have absolutely no idea who you are. But I am sure you are wildly famous. Please continue, Sir Donald." The audience laughed uncertainly. Mother looked displeased. The presenter coughed nervously and tried to continue. "So the first question tonight. Are you wearing makeup, Sir Declan?" inquired Mr. Stink innocently. "Oh, a little, yes. For the lights, of course." "Of course," said Mr. Stink. "Foundation?" "Yes." "Eyeliner?" "A little." "Lip gloss?" "A smidge." "Looks nice. I wish I'd had some now. Blusher." The audience chuckled throughout this exchange. Sir David moved on rapidly. "Oh, I should explain that Mr. Stink is here tonight, as he has been invited to live with Miss Crumb." "Crummy," corrected Mother. "Oh," said Sir David, "I do apologize. We checked the pronunciation with your husband, and he said it was Crumb." Mother went red with embarrassment. Sir David turned his attention back to his notes. "Later on in the program," he said, "we will be discussing the difficult topic of homelessness." Mr. Stink put up his hand. "Yes, Mr. Stink," said the presenter. "May I just pop to the lavatory, Sir Duncan?" The audience laughed louder this time. "I should have gone before we started, but I asked the makeup lady to do my hair, and it took forever. Don't get me wrong, I'm thrilled with the results. She gave me a wash and a blow dry. They even put something called gel in it, but I didn't get a chance to go to the little boy's room. Of course, if you need to go, go. Thank you so much, said Mr. Stink. He rose to his feet and started to potter off the set. I shouldn't be too long. I think it's just a number one. The audience howled again with laughter. In the little room with the stale crisps and the television, Chloe and Dad were laughing too. Chloe looked at Annabelle. She was trying not to laugh, but a smile was definitely creeping up her face. My apologies, exclaimed Mr. Stink as he crossed the stage again to the opposite direction. I am told the lavatory is this way. And that, my friends, is going to do it for chapters 15 and 16. Now, make sure you go in and do your questions, doing the best you can. Complete sentences, of course, always complete sentences. And they start with a capital and they end with a period. All right, guys, have a great rest of your day. We'll see you next time for chapter 17.